Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm so happy to have you all here. As promised, I'm back with the official review video. In this season, the Masires are desperately trying to break away from the metaphysical curse that has burdened their family for years now, and the current host of this mermaid spirit is Veronica. We'll go with Vero for short, as she's the queen in charge since Mo's imprisonment took place. She's set on a mission to go after Gavin Salat, who is a notorious kingpin ruling over Cape Town. He also has an affiliation with an ancient malicious entity from the Khoisan descent referred to as Uem. Uem wronged the mermaid spirit in the past, hence this request. This is the alternative that Veronica settled with to prevent another child of hers to fall prey to this entity once more. Behind his saintly facade, Salat harbors a darker secret, and that is exploiting the underprivileged for his own gain by using them as his enforcers, known as the RIP boys, to get inducted into his crew. They all get branded with an earland, which is a Khoisan spirit animal, which allows his metaphysical capabilities to take form by being a step ahead of his enemies through having surveillance over what they do and say. Vero's strategy is to pretend joining hands with him just to take over his empire after getting rid of him for good. She also seizes this opportunity to make a truce with Aliko Bajo for his own benefit as well. The Masira enforcers known as Sting and Leon dutifully serve her, but their loyalty lies with Mo, with Leon being a mediator in Mo's bidding to stay on the good side of some of the RIP boys who are also held captive in the same prison as him. One of the crew members, Oki, Salat's nephew, threatens Lester, who also had a fallout with Salat that landed him there as well, by Lester reaching out to Mo for help, gets him entangled in Lester's feud with the crew as well. This situation escalates to a fatal brawl between Lester and Oki, and it did not end well for Oki. Mo's connection to Lester makes Salat assume that this is the first attack from the Masires since finding out about Vero's true intentions of approaching him. He retaliates and starts to go after the Masira family, and this results in Mo's abrupt prison escape, taking Lester with him. And because of this, he eventually reunites with Pumzi, who joins him on his quest to Cape Town to save Veronica. When they arrive, her aunt provided a place for them to stay, and she also guides Mo to a priestess who offered the origin story of the mermaid spirit and Uem's rivalry. This is partly where he decides to take over to protect Vero and the child, and he draws the spirit back to him, reclaiming his spot as the king. After Lester's brief escape went haywire, he gets stuck with Gail Basia, who has been promoted to inspector now, and she pesters him to act as an informant to nail Mo, who is currently on the loose. Just like the Masires, Salat has a support system of his own, that being his wife Saskia, who's at his back and call, alongside his right-hand man Karim. Isador arrives from the States just in time to join Mo's outnumbered squad compared to Salat's men in this battle, and for the remainder of the series, the question then becomes, will the Masires be able to achieve their goal, or will the favor be with Salat and Uem? When we look into Veronica's character, she was so caught up in getting the mission complete that she became so detached from everyone and everything around her, because for her it was only about her child. Mo's character arc is the one that really hits a nerve, because I just feel like he has to endure so much, and he's also misunderstood because there's this misdirected anger that he gets from his family, which is very hard to comprehend because what he goes through is situational. His dynamic with Lester was almost sibling-like in a sense that they did not see eye to eye. They constantly bickered with each other, but when it was time for them to survive, they would stick together. In the beginning, it was hard for him to accept Pumzi being distant from him, but eventually, of course, it was inevitable. She warmed up to him again. I felt like he was one of those characters that deserved to get some sense of redemption. So I am shattered at how everything turned out for him, and I just feel like he did not deserve that. You could see how deep-rooted he was in his heritage. We can give him that. Him and his wife were the highlights for me personally, and they contributed to the horror element of the show. The way in which his wife would conduct herself, she had strange mannerisms, robotic-like if you will. The same with him. When he communicated, sometimes it felt like he was in some form of a state that was not earth-like, which of course was actually the case. The actors did an amazing job in portraying that. They made this season exceptional. We kind of saw them more outside of their work. This time they kind of got a bit personal. It was interesting to see Leon in his comfort zone, and their loyalty towards each other was also tested. With Gail Garcia, there was a time when she was confronted with the supernatural. She confessed that she doesn't believe in the superstitions. And this was basically her downfall because it became apparent that this fight is beyond her control. She couldn't win that fight on her own. And for Lester, there was a turning point for his character arc as well, because he finally confessed that he regretted betraying the Masires brothers in the past. There was some playfulness to his dialogue that brought some sense of relief, and him and Gail Garcia had more time together, and it was also funny to see their dynamic play out. With the use of music, there's some mixed reviews, but for the most part, if you look into the horror element, this is to create that heightened reality. They constantly just wanted to remind us of the intensity of what was happening. There was a sense of suspense. Joburg itself was a character through the music. For the moments where things would be calm, you would hear tones of piano playing in the background. We see this when Mo and Pumzi had a sense of connecting. There was sonic cues for the mermaid and we would hear the sound effect that would represent their presence. There would hardly be scenes without the music. Let me know what you guys think about the music actually. They used chess as a metaphor to represent Mo, who's the king of Joburg, and Gavin Salat, who's the king of Cape Town, foreshadowing how everything will end for them. The cliffhanger question, big question mark. A lot of people are excited for the future of the show because they can go any direction with this. For me personally, if this is it, I'm not too mad about it, even though we still need answers, because I feel like at this point it's still that thing of it's up to your own interpretation. Decide how this show actually ended, because there's a lot of speculations of who did what and how, so the possibilities for the future are endless. Apart from some minor issues, I will forgive the show because I really do feel like this was the best season. And do let me know what you guys think about the season. If you haven't watched it and you are into horror action, you can actually go check it out. For me personally, I've never been a horror fanatic, but as I'm growing up, I'm becoming very open-minded at the reasoning behind the genre. But thank you so much guys for being here, and I hope you guys do appreciate these videos. I'll see you guys next time.